Welcome back to the Quenexa Short Bytes podcast. I'm Chuck.
And I'm Jack.
Today we are going to talk about how, as a business, you may be helping criminals attack your company. This is going to be part one, and today we're going to talk about oversharing information.
There's been a huge increase, and it continues to increase ransomware and financial theft. We've been getting calls from clients asking how are criminals able to send them emails directly to key individuals in a company. And this has become very concerning. And the way organizations are helping criminals attack their company is by oversharing information. All companies have a website, that's a given, and most companies have some form of social media presence. Companies are typically proud of their staff, and they also want to make it easy for clients or prospective clients to find them and to communicate with them. By making it easier for clients to communicate with you and prospects to communicate you, you are also making it easier for criminals to communicate you and specifically target individuals within your organization.
Yeah, we see this a lot. Most commonly, you'll see like an About Us page on a company's website, right? And then sometimes they'll have pictures of their employees, full name, position within the company. Sometimes you even see that they'll have a phone number or an email address for each of those people listed on the company website.
And that's a serious problem because now you're telling them who to target within your company. These criminals, as I've mentioned in the past, they do not want to work hard. They're lazy. The easier you make it and give them this information, the more likely you will be targeted versus someone that's making it more difficult and not providing this information. You didn't mention companies also oftentimes post bios of key people or support staff. Bios are dangerous because you're all familiar with the term phishing, and we've talked about spear phishing. Spear phishing is targeted email messages directly to an individual. Alternative to listing those key individuals on your website, it's not quite as personal, but use accounting at for someone in accounting that would send an email. We've sales at HR for human resources. Get the, even though you're proud of those individuals, taking those names and getting them off the website is the recommendation of the industry. Another big thing to consider or be concerned about if you're putting email addresses out there. Typically, the email address is the address you use to log into your email system. It's the email address you might use to log into your Google Docs or your Microsoft SharePoint.
That's a really good point. So these public emails like sales at, info at should not be user IDs to log into any systems. They should be separate.
Right, they're just mail forwarders. They're set up in your system, and the good news is you don't have to pay extra for them. They're not actual email accounts. Along the lines of oversharing information, another item to consider is what every company should have, no matter how big or small, someone monitoring social media and a social media policy, what is allowed to be put out there. On your personal account or the business account, if you put out that we're upgrading our accounting system, we're upgrading our core processor in the financial industry, any of the back end processes, if you're making any changes internal to the business, that information should be considered proprietary, confidential, sensitive, and should not be shared with the rest of the world. The other thing, what we've seen is someone announces that they're excited about this new platform the company is bringing on. That would alert a criminal to pose as the company of the product that you're bringing on to try to call and get access to your system to get you to help them get the system implemented. So sharing that kind of information is not good.
The takeaway from today's podcast is to be aware of what you're sharing online. And we strongly encourage you not to list employees on your company website with any of this information that we talked about today. Be sure to come back and join us for part two of this podcast, and we will see you next time.